This is the DizzyAGE editor. If you open it up, you'll get a map something like this. This current map has got 4 rooms, as you can see by the lines separating them. Now, this is the toolbar along the top. First menu is the system menu. If you go on it, you've got options to create a new map, open a map, save the current map, export the map, and you've got an info button. So if we click on the information button, you've got the map width and the height and the room width and height. If you change those, you can click resize and it will resize the map for you. That is the current path for the map on the hard drive. That's the amount of brushes in the map, the amount of tiles that are loaded into the map, and the current room count, which is 4. So we click off that and go back onto the menu. We've got an options for the preferences. On the options, we've got show axes button. If you click that, you'll see that you can have a yellow axis which helps you to line up tiles. If we go back on options, we'll take that off. We'll also take the grid off, which I find just a slight bit of a distraction most of the time. Go back on the options. We've also got snap to grid, show room grid, and show brush things, and we've also got show the room name. We've got the screen size there, where the tiles are located, and the map background colour. So we'll leave that at that. We've also got the help and exit the editor. Also on the top row, we've got the view mode, which helps to show the game in a variety of views. We've got the switch tool, which switches between the editing and the selecting. We've got the brush properties, which relate to the current brush that you've got here, and we've got the brush tile, the mapping, the brush flip, colour, shader, type, draw mode, material, and class. We'll go through those in a moment. Now, at the moment, the map is set to snap to grid. As you can see by the jerky movements, it's an 8 pixel grid that it snaps it to. And if we press S on the keyboard, it does this, has the same effect as the options snap to grid, and takes the snap off, making it a lot smoother. If we press S again, it snaps it back to the grid, allowing us to place the tiles a lot easier. Right, but we don't want just plain white tiles, so if we go into the brush tile box, then we can select from a number of tiles. If we scroll down with this mouse scrolling button, we can go through quite a few tiles and select one. We shall select the bricks tile, and you can see we've got a number of different tiles on an 8x8 grid. Again, pressing S on the keyboard takes the snap to grid off, allowing us to select smaller areas or areas that aren't in the grid. For the purpose of this tutorial though, we'll keep the grid on. If we select a tile and click back to the map, you can see we've now got a white brick. We can now go on the colour and change it. If you scroll down on this menu, you get a number of different colours that you can choose from. The main ones, however, are at the top, so we'll select a red brick. We can also flip the brush if we want. We can flip it on the x-axis, y-axis, and the r-axis rotates it if we have it on the y-axis, you can see it appears upside down. On the r-axis, rotates it. We'll keep it as normal for the moment. Now we'll put a floor in here by dragging the mouse along like so. This is where having it snap to grid comes in very useful, otherwise you can end up with a horrible looking floor. Now we could do with getting rid of these extra bits. So if we right click, we've got properties at the top of the menu there. We can pick the brush, which does exactly as it says. If we right click on the item again, we can pick the tile, which picks the exact tile and the rotation of it, or we can pick the colour. Picking brush does everything, picks the brush and all its properties. We can also move the tile to the front, to the back, or we can delete it. So in this case we'll delete it. We've also got other ways of deleting as well. If we switch the tool to the select section, we can select a load of tiles together. And using this, we can also, by pressing the delete key on the keyboard, delete them. Now you may not want all the tiles selected, so this is going to be quite hard because I've got to put my microphone down, but if you hold down the Alt button on the keyboard, you can subtract a tile from the current selection, or if you hold down the Shift button you can add one, as will be demonstrated. Once you've selected an amount, you can then delete them, or if you want to, you can hold down the right mouse button and move them. You can also copy and paste them by doing Ctrl-C and then Ctrl-V to paste. Now it will paste it back over the current tiles, so you then have to move them with the mouse. If you deselect them before you move them, you'll have them on top of each other and you'll create a bit of a problem for yourself. So for the minute, we'll delete those, and we'll delete that one. Now we'll switch back to the drawing tool, and we've got a tile here. Now if you look here, it's showing you what it is. It's a brush, it's displaying its image and matte, and it's got air material. Now if you right click on it and click properties, you'll bring up a box with the properties. We've got a brush tab, which the main features are flip, colour and shader. We've got an object tab and we've got a user tab. The object tab is the main one. It's got the type, static or dynamic. We'll keep it at static for the moment because it's a floor material and we want it to be block. At the moment the material is air, so we'll change that. We've got water, hurt material, kill, cloud, climb, wind or block. We'll change it to block. Draw, you can either have none, which will hide it in the game. We've got image, which will just show the image of the item. We've got material, which will hide it but still write to the material matte, and we've got image and matte. So we'll keep it on image and matte, and we'll draw another wall, a wall at the side. Now incidentally, we've changed the floor material, but we haven't changed the wall materials. So we'll change those now. We'll pick a one there. the floor. And if we open the file, click Save As, save it, and there we are.